Chapter 7 Entrance Exam Results. The courtyard of the Ninja Academy buzzed with the nervous energy of dozens of young hopefuls. Children gathered in small clusters, their excited chatter creating a lively backdrop as they anxiously awaited the results of the entrance exam. Kaizen stood among them, his outward demeanor friendly and approachable, yet inside, his thoughts were razor-focused on the moment at hand. Instructors began to emerge from the academy building, their presence instantly commanding attention. The children fell silent, their eyes fixed on the stern figures before them. One of the instructors, a tall man with a serious expression, stepped forward to address the crowd. The parents of the prospective students watched intently from the sidelines. Among them, Sakumo Hatake stood with his arms crossed, his keen eyes focused on the proceedings. He had been increasingly impressed by Kaizen's performance throughout the exams, noting the boy's remarkable abilities and composure. As the instructor continued, Sakumo's gaze occasionally flicked to Kaizen, his thoughts a mix of curiosity and admiration. "Congratulations to all of you for completing the entrance exam," he began, his voice strong and clear, cutting through the silence. "Today, we will announce the results and form the new classes for the academy. Those of you who performed exceptionally well will be recognized." He paused, letting the anticipation build before continuing. "For those who did not pass, do not lose heart. The path of a shinobi is one of perseverance and continuous improvement. Use this experience as a stepping stone. Train harder and return next year stronger and more determined. Your journey does not end here." The instructor's words hung in the air, a blend of encouragement and challenge. He then added, "Those who did not pass are welcome to stay after we conclude here to meet with us. We will provide feedback on your performance and offer guidance on where you need to improve. Take this opportunity to learn and grow." Kaizen observed the reactions around him. Some children looked disappointed but determined, nodding at the instructor's words, while others glanced nervously at their peers. The sense of community was palpable, each child silently resolving to better themselves, no matter the outcome. "First, I want to explain the reasoning behind each test and what we were looking for in you, our prospective students. Then, we will announce who performed the best in each test and the overall top applicant." The children listened intently, their anticipation palpable. "The first series of tests were physical in nature," the instructor continued. "We began with a sprint across the training field. This test was designed to measure your speed and explosive power, which are crucial for quick strikes and evasions in combat." He glanced at his notes. The top performer in the sprint test was Kakashi Hatake. His speed was unmatched, demonstrating the agility and quick reflexes we value in a ninja. Kakashi stepped forward, his expression composed yet carrying a hint of satisfaction. Next was the long jump, the instructor went on. "This test assessed your leg strength and coordination. The ability to leap great distances can be the difference between success and failure in missions that require traversing difficult terrain or escaping danger quickly." Kakashi Hatake also excelled in this test, with Kaizen closely following in second place, the instructor announced. Kaizen nodded subtly, acknowledging his own strong performance. "Following that, we had the agility drill, which tested your balance, coordination, and reaction time through an obstacle course. These skills are essential for navigating through complex environments and avoiding attacks." The top performer in the agility drill was Kaizen, the instructor said, his voice filled with respect. Kaizen stepped forward, feeling a surge of pride as the crowd reacted with surprise and admiration. His previous life's training had given him the edge, allowing him to navigate the course with unmatched precision and speed. "For the endurance test," the instructor continued, "we assessed your stamina and physical resilience through a series of grueling exercises. Endurance is critical for long missions and sustained combat scenarios." Kakashi Hatake again took first place, with Kaizen in second. Kaizen accepted his position with grace, understanding the significance of being consistently among the top performers. The instructor then shifted focus to the mental tests. "Our next set of challenges measured your cognitive abilities. The series of puzzles, strategy games, and problem-solving tasks were designed to assess your analytical thinking, strategic planning, and adaptability. These qualities are vital for formulating plans, anticipating enemy moves, and thinking on your feet during missions. In these tasks, Kaizen outperformed his peers by a significant margin, the instructor noted. The crowd murmured in awe as Kaizen stepped forward again. His analytical mind had allowed him to excel, and he felt the weight of their admiration and curiosity. Finally, we tested your chakra control with the transformation jutsu, the instructor explained. This test evaluated your ability to manipulate chakra, perform precise hand seals, and execute basic jutsu. Effective chakra control is fundamental to all ninja techniques. For this test, Kakashi Hatake was the top performer, demonstrating excellent control and precision. Kaizen followed in second place, showing significant potential. The instructor paused, allowing the information to sink in. Overall, he concluded, the #1 applicant, based on the cumulative results of all the tests, is Kaizen. A wave of surprise and respect rippled through the courtyard, with Sakumo raising an eyebrow in astonishment at the unexpected outcome. Kaizen stepped forward, feeling the eyes of his peers on him. Standing next to Kakashi, he felt a profound sense of achievement. This recognition as the top performer was a testament to his skills and potential. Kakashi, usually composed and unflappable, felt a rare moment of shock. He had fully expected to be named the top applicant, given his stellar performance in the physical tests. His mind raced as he processed the result. How did he do it? Kakashi thought to himself. I was sure my performance was unbeatable. This Kaizen, he's more than meets the eye. Kakashi's thoughts were interrupted as the instructor continued to call out names, recognizing other top performers. Kaizen noted the names and faces, mentally cataloging each one. These were the individuals who would share his journey at the academy, potential allies, and rivals. Once the top performers were acknowledged, the instructor moved on to the class assignments. Now, we will form the new classes, he announced, his voice firm and clear. Each of you will be placed with peers who match your skill level to ensure the best possible training environment. He paused, allowing the information to sink in before continuing. For those of you who wish to live at the academy, you may come early tomorrow morning before class to sign up for a dorm. Accommodations will be provided by the academy until graduation, ensuring you have everything you need to focus on your training. Once you receive your class assignments, group up and meet with your future teacher. This will give you an opportunity to introduce yourselves and understand what is expected of you moving forward. Kaizen listened intently, absorbing every word. The prospect of living at the academy intrigued him, offering an environment where he could fully immerse himself in his training. He made a mental note to arrive early the next morning to secure his place in the dorms. Kaizen's name was called first for Class A, along with Kakashi and several other high-scoring students. He recognized a few faces from the exams, their expressions ranging from eager to determined. As they gathered, Kaizen took the opportunity to observe his new classmates more closely. Their instructor for Class A was introduced next. Stepping forward with a composed demeanor was a seasoned shinobi who exuded quiet confidence. His sharp eyes scanned the group of new students, each one meeting his gaze with a mixture of curiosity and respect. He stood at an average height, with a lean but muscular build that spoke of disciplined training. His short, neatly trimmed brown hair framed a face marked by years of experience. His eyes, a piercing green, seemed to evaluate each student with keen intelligence. He wore the standard Jonin uniform of the Hidden Leaf Village, a dark green flak jacket over a long-sleeved black shirt, with matching pants and shinobi sandals. The headband of the Hidden Leaf Village was tied around his forehead, the metal plate reflecting the morning light. The flak jacket, covered in pockets and pouches, hinted at the tools and weapons he likely carried, ready for any situation. Kaizen's mind raced as he analyzed his new teacher. He scrutinized every detail, from the way he moved with deliberate precision to the subtle scars visible on his hands and face. These were the marks of a seasoned warrior. Kaizen briefly speculated on his background, wondering if he hailed from one of the renowned clans of the village, or if he had risen through the ranks as a civilian ninja. The absence of clan symbols on his attire left his origins a mystery. Based on his bearing, attire, and the respect he commanded, Kaizen deduced that he was likely at least a jonin. His demeanor suggested a depth of experience and skill befitting someone who had faced numerous challenges. Kaizen knew that having such a capable instructor could only benefit him, pushing him to exceed his limits. "I am Hiroshi-sensei," the man said, his voice steady and clear. "You are here because you have shown great potential. My job is to help you realize that potential and become the best shinobi you can be." Kaizen watched Hiroshi-sensei closely, noting his confident stance and the way he carried himself with a calm authority. This was someone worth learning from, someone who could push him to new heights. The instructor outlined the expectations for the term, emphasizing discipline, hard work, and teamwork. After defining his expectations and going through introductions, Hiroshi-sensei decided to begin the class's first training session immediately, starting with warm-up exercises. He believed that jumping straight into training would set the tone for their future lessons and help him quickly assess the strengths and weaknesses of his new students. As he led the students through a series of stretches and basic drills, he carefully observed each child, noting their form and effort. His thoughts were a mixture of evaluation and curiosity. He had reviewed their entrance exam results, but seeing them in action provided a deeper insight. Kaizen's movements were particularly impressive, precise, and controlled, with a fluidity that hinted at extensive training. Hiroshi speculated on Kaizen's background, wondering if his skills were self-taught. Despite the boy's friendly demeanor, Hiroshi sensed a depth and complexity in his actions. Kakashi, on the other hand, moved with an effortless grace. His agility and precision were remarkable, clearly marking him as a top contender among the new students. Hiroshi knew of Kakashi's lineage and the expectations that came with being the son of the White Fang. Kakashi's focus and technique did not disappoint. They were the hallmarks of a ninja destined for greatness. As Hiroshi watched the other students, he noted their varying levels of coordination and endurance. One boy named Shiro showed promise with his determination, although his technique was still rough. Another promising student named Eiko, though initially hesitant, displayed a quiet resilience and a willingness to push herself. After the warm-up, Hiroshi decided to challenge them further with a team-based obstacle course. He divided the students into groups, explaining that the exercise was designed to foster cooperation and highlight individual strengths. He wanted to see how they would function under pressure and how well they could work together. Kaizen found himself teamed with Kakashi, Shiro, and Eiko. Hiroshi watched as Kaizen quickly took on a leadership role, strategizing with his teammates. "Let's work together to get through this as quickly and efficiently as possible," Kaizen said, his tone encouraging. "We each have our strengths, so let's use them." Kakashi nodded, his eyes sharp with focus. Shiro and Eiko looked determined, taking in Kaizen's words with a mix of anticipation and trust. At Hiroshi's signal, they launched into the course. The first obstacle was a series of high walls. Kaizen took the lead, scaling the walls with agility and helping his teammates over. Kakashi followed suit, his movements just as fluid. Hiroshi noted Kaizen's training was evident in his graceful and efficient actions. Shiro and Eiko, though less experienced, managed to keep pace with the support and encouragement from Kaizen and Kakashi. Next, they faced a series of balance beams suspended over a pit. Kaizen moved across with sure-footed precision, his background in stealth and agility clear in his graceful steps. When Eiko hesitated, he offered a reassuring hand, guiding her across with a calm confidence that helped steady her nerves. The final obstacle was a complex series of ropes and nets. Kaizen and Kakashi worked in tandem, navigating the tangled web with practiced ease. They coordinated their movements, ensuring that Shiro and Eiko could follow without difficulty. By the time they reached the end, their teamwork had forged a sense of camaraderie that was palpable. As they finished the exercise, Hiroshi observed them with a critical eye. "Well done," he said, nodding in approval. "You showed good teamwork and individual skill. Remember, a shinobi must be able to rely on their comrades." Kaizen felt a sense of accomplishment, not just for himself but for his team. He knew that building strong relationships with his classmates would be crucial for his success. During the break, he made a point to engage with Shiro and Eiko, offering tips and encouragement. His friendly nature and genuine interest in their progress helped to strengthen the bonds they had begun to form. Hiroshi-sensei continued to watch, impressed by Kaizen's ability to connect with his peers. He saw potential in Kaizen, not just as a skilled shinobi but as a leader who could inspire and elevate those around him. Hiroshi's thoughts were filled with plans on how to challenge both Kaizen and Kakashi, pushing them to their limits and beyond. Throughout the day, Kaizen continued to interact with his classmates, always with an eye on building alliances and understanding their capabilities. His easygoing demeanor and willingness to help made him well-liked, while his obvious skill earned him respect. With Kakashi, the connection was different. There was a mutual recognition of talent, and a shared understanding of the drive to excel. During breaks, they discussed training strategies and exchanged insights, each learning from the other. Kaizen could see the potential for a strong partnership, one that would push them both to greater heights. As the day drew to a close, Kaizen reflected on the events. He had established himself as a top performer, forged new relationships, and gained valuable insights into his new environment. The foundation for his journey had been set, and he felt a renewed sense of purpose. Returning to the orphanage, Kaizen's mind buzzed with the day's events. Dinner with the other children was a lively affair, filled with chatter and laughter. Kaizen joined in their conversations with genuine interest, maintaining his friendly facade. His thoughts, however, remained sharply focused on the day's training and the insights he had gained. Later, in the quiet of his room, Kaizen settled himself in front of a small, cracked mirror. He was determined to perfect the transformation jutsu before bed. The soft glow of the moonlight filtered through the thin curtains, casting an ethereal light on his determined face. He took a deep breath, centering himself, and began to perform the hand signs he had practiced earlier: dog, boar, ram. As he executed the transformation jutsu, Kaizen's form shimmered, shifting into an image of one of his instructors. The transformation was close, but not perfect. He frowned slightly, releasing the jutsu and returning to his original form. He could feel the drain on his chakra, but he pushed it aside, focusing on the task at hand. Kaizen analyzed the way his chakra flowed with each hand sign. He envisioned the chakra pathways within his body, observing how each sign directed the energy to different parts of his system. The dog sign seemed to gather the chakra, the boar sign molded it, and the ram sign finalized the transformation. He could feel the subtle shifts in energy with each movement of his hands. Repeating the process, Kaizen concentrated on smoothing out the rough edges of the jutsu. His form flickered into that of his instructor once more, this time with fewer imperfections. He held the transformation for a moment, studying his reflection, before letting it dissipate. The mirror's surface reflected his unwavering determination. As the night wore on, Kaizen's room filled with the soft sound of his steady breaths and the rustle of his clothes as he moved through the hand signs again and again. Each repetition brought him closer to perfection. He meticulously adjusted the flow of his chakra, experimenting with slight variations in the hand signs to see how they affected the outcome. His mind raced with ideas on how to better implement chakra in various jutsu. He considered the possibility of blending different chakra natures, theorized about more efficient ways to channel energy, and pondered the potential for creating entirely new techniques. The transformation jutsu, while basic, was a gateway to understanding the broader applications of chakra control. With each successful transformation, Kaizen's understanding deepened. He noticed how the concentration of chakra in different areas could enhance specific aspects of the jutsu, making the transformation more realistic. He realized that perfecting this technique was not just about the hand signs, but about mastering the subtle art of chakra manipulation. Hours passed, and Kaizen continued his relentless practice. The strain of chakra depletion began to show, his movements growing slower and more deliberate. Still, he persisted, driven by an insatiable desire for perfection. The final transformation of the night was his best yet a near-perfect replica of his instructor, down to the smallest detail. Kaizen held the jutsu as long as he could, studying every aspect of the transformation in the mirror. When he finally released it, his chakra reserves were nearly exhausted. He felt a deep sense of satisfaction. His body was weary, but his mind was alight with the possibilities that lay ahead. Exhausted but content, Kaizen took a moment to rest on his futon, letting the day's experiences settle in his mind. The moonlight had shifted, casting intricate patterns on the wooden floor, creating an almost hypnotic effect that matched the rhythm of his thoughts. Instead of succumbing to sleep, Kaizen knew there was more he could do to solidify his progress. He rose slowly, his muscles protesting the movement, but he welcomed the discomfort. Chakra exhaustion had pushed his body to its limits, creating the perfect state for further training. This was a time when his exercises would yield the best results, pushing his endurance and flexibility beyond their usual bounds. Kaizen started with dynamic stretches to increase his range of motion. He swung his legs back and forth, loosening his hip flexors and hamstrings. Then, he performed arm circles, gradually increasing their size to fully engage his shoulder muscles. Each movement felt more fluid as he continued, the initial stiffness giving way to greater flexibility. He then moved into more complex exercises designed to test his balance and coordination. Standing on one leg, Kaizen performed a series of single-leg squats, lowering his body slowly and with precision. His supporting leg trembled with effort, but he focused on maintaining his form, ensuring each squat was as deep as possible without losing balance. He switched legs, repeating the exercise and feeling the burn in his thighs and calves. Next, Kaizen challenged his core stability with a series of hollow body holds. He lay on his back, arms extended overhead and legs straight out, lifting both off the ground to form a hollow position. Holding this pose required intense concentration, his abdominal muscles contracting to keep his body steady. He alternated between the hollow hold and arch holds, flipping onto his stomach and lifting his arms and legs to strengthen his lower back muscles. To further enhance his agility, Kaizen practiced quick lateral movements. He set up small obstacles using objects around the room and performed side-to-side hops over them. This exercise mimicked the agility drills he had done earlier, helping to refine his footwork and reaction time. Each hop was light and swift, his body moving with the precision of a well-tuned machine. For his upper body, Kaizen incorporated variations of push-ups. He started with traditional push-ups, then moved to decline push-ups with his feet elevated, adding an extra challenge for his shoulders and chest. Diamond push-ups followed, targeting his triceps more intensely. The repetitive exertion tested his endurance, each push-up demanding more effort as his muscles fatigued. By the time he finished his routine, Kaizen's body was drenched in sweat, his muscles thoroughly worked. He felt a deep sense of satisfaction, knowing that he had pushed himself to his limits and beyond. His exercises had not only strengthened his body but also reinforced his mental discipline. Realizing he needed to clean up, Kaizen quickly made his way to the washroom. The cool water against his skin was invigorating, washing away the sweat and grime from his intense training. He scrubbed diligently, feeling the tension in his muscles ease with each splash of water. Once he was clean, he dried off and changed into a fresh set of clothes, the fabric soft and comforting against his skin. Feeling refreshed, Kaizen returned to his room and settled onto his futon. The moonlight had shifted once more, casting softer shadows that seemed to lull him into a state of calm. He closed his eyes, the day's events playing out in his mind like a well-worn tale. Each moment, each challenge, had brought him closer to his goal of mastering his new life as a shinobi. With a deep breath, Kaizen allowed himself to drift into sleep, knowing that he had done everything he could to prepare for the challenges ahead.